Vote 2021, we're just 2 days away from the Georgia Senate runoff election, and it's an important one, bringing former, current, and future presidents to the state. 2 seats are up for grabs. Republican Senator David Perdue faces Democrat Jon Ossoff, and GOP Senator Kelly Loeffler faces Democrat Raphael Warnock. Republicans only need to win 1 seat to maintain control in the Senate. Joining us now is News4JAX political analyst Rick Mullaney, director of the Jacksonville University Public Policy Institute. Rick, thank you as always for being with us this morning.
Good morning.
And start by telling us, why is this election so important?
Well, first of all, whoever has the majority in the Senate, that is important. If you're the majority party, you control the confirmation process. That's for judges and other appointees. You control committee appointments. You control the legislative agenda. And of course, you have the majority on substantive legislation, health care, taxes, and all the other substantive policy issues. But this year, it's even more than that. It's not just the balance of power in the Senate. Because the Democrats have the majority in the House, and because you have a Democrat in the White House with Joe Biden, now it becomes the question of, will the Democrats control the House, the Senate, and the White House? If they do, from the Republican perspective, expect tax increases, which they can do with a simple majority due to budget reconciliation. And also, they are concerned on the Republican side, it could mean the filibuster and packing the court. From the Democratic perspective, very different. The argument is the Biden policy agenda is at risk if the Republicans have the majority, and that they will stand in the way as obstructionists to the Biden policies on health care, on climate change, on taxes. So therefore, you have 2 contrasting views. But I'll say this, it's historic, it's consequential, the stakes could not be higher, maybe the highest ever for any Senate races we've seen.
And Rick, more than 3 million people have already voted early. What does that tell you about the interest in this election?
It's running sky high. Make no mistake about that. In November, you had nearly 5 million votes cast in Georgia with a 12,000 vote margin for Joe Biden. Of course, Jon Ossoff, about 100,000 less than Joe Biden there. Here, what you're seeing is early turnout suggests with these 3 million that you're seeing strong turnout, particularly in the black community, which is advantaged Democrat. And there's some concern among Republicans that in some of their stronger districts that you're not seeing the turnout there. But in the end, Election Day is critically important. In November, nearly 60% of the votes went for Donald Trump on Election Day, which you can expect 2 days from now on Election Day. If it's a big turnout, it's advantaged Republicans. So this is all going to come down to Tuesday.
And it seems like we've been seeing a lot of these advertisements for weeks and months now. What role do you think that is playing in this election?
Not just weeks and months, hour by hour. It is stunning the amount of money that has been spent on advertising in this cycle for these Senate races. People looked at South Carolina and thought the $100 million campaign there was astronomical. This is over $500 million in advertising. And early, what you saw was Jon Ossoff using it to try to define David Perdue. You've seen it going the other way. On the Democratic side, there's been an attempt to define the Republicans as not delivering on coronavirus and not protecting the people of Georgia. And of course, stock trades, where they may have benefited personally. On the Republican side, the argument is that the Democrats are far too left and have a more radical agenda, and in fact defund the police and socialism. So you have seen an extraordinary amount of advertising because the stakes are so high.
And do you think that advertising could affect the results?
Certainly that $500 million has some impact, a big impact. But as we've seen in other races, it's more than just that. There's the ground game, and of course, there's turnout. Turnout is critically important. On the Republican side, that's why President Trump is coming. Can you turn out your votes? On the Democratic side, where Joe Biden is coming back again, can you turn out your votes? So on Tuesday, this will be, as all elections are, a turnout election for the Republicans and the Democrats. They need to turn out their voters.
Rick Mullaney, thank you as always for your insight.